In the annals of aviation history, certain tragedies stand out not just for their devastating impact, but for the lessons they impart and the mysteries they leave behind. Among them is the heart-wrenching story of American Airlines Flight 587, an Airbus A300 that met a tragic fate on a clear November morning in 2001. But what really happened on that fateful day? What could have possibly gone wrong just moments after takeoff that led to such a catastrophic outcome? Were there any warning signs or overlooked factors that contributed to the tragedy? Well, join us as we embark on a journey through the heart-wrenching details and gripping revelations of one of the most significant aviation disasters in modern history. In the tense aftermath of the Twin Towers attacks just 2 months later, a tragic plane crash occurred in the USA. This was the American Airlines Flight 587, a flight which was bound for Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, that took off from John F. Kennedy Airport but tragically crashed into a residential area of Bell Harbor, New York City, shortly after takeoff. The aircraft involved was an Airbus A300 B4-6005R, a type of medium-range airliner and notably the first wide-body twin-engine aircraft ever made. This particular plane had been delivered brand new to American Airlines in July 1988. By the time of the accident, it had flown for 37,550 hours and undergone 40,934 takeoff and landing cycles. This catastrophic event not only resulted in significant loss of life, but also raised critical questions about aviation safety and the factors contributing to such tragedies. Let's now take a look and analyze the events leading up to the tragic flight of November 12, 2001. At 7 a.m., Captain Ed States and First Officer Sten Moline, both seasoned commercial pilots, arrived at the gate. Captain States, aged 42, had been with American Airlines since July 1985, accumulating 8,050 hours of flying time, including 1,723 hours as an A300 pilot in command. First Officer Moline, 34 years old, joined American Airlines in March 1991, amassing 4,403 flying hours with 1,835 hours as an A300 second in command. Around 7:10 a.m., the plane's fueling commenced alongside a pre-flight exterior check, concluding without any issues by 7:45 a.m. Shortly after, passengers began boarding. There were 251 passengers on board, including 5 children under 2 years of age and 7 cabin crew members. At 8:59:58 a.m., the airplane got permission to leave the gate. That means it was allowed to move away from the boarding area. Then, at 9:01:33 a.m., the ground controller told the pilots how to taxi to runway 31L. At 09:02:23, the first officer checked the rudder by pressing on the pedals and moving it left and right. From there, things quickly progressed towards the accident. At 09:06:53, the ground controller gave taxi instructions to Japan Airlines Flight 47, a Boeing 747-400, to take off before Flight 587. Just 2 minutes later, Flight 587 was instructed to follow the Japan Airlines plane. At 09:11:08, the control tower allowed the 747 to take off, which it did around 09:13:05. After takeoff, the 747 began climbing and turning left over Jamaica Bay following the bridge climb procedure. Shortly after, the control tower warned Flight 587 about potential turbulence caused by the 747 and asked them to wait for their turn on runway 31L. At 09:13:21, the cockpit voice recorder, also called the CVR, captured the captain telling the first officer, "You have the airplane," meaning it was the first officer Moline's turn to fly the plane. At that moment, the local controller gave clearance for Flight 587 to take off. The first officer asked the captain, "You happy with that separation distance?" To which the captain responded, "We'll be all right once we get rolling." Moline then confirmed, "So you're happy." At 09:13:51, Flight 587 began its takeoff roll and lifted off around 09:14:29, about a minute and a half after a Japan Airlines airplane. At 09:14:43, the local controller instructed the Flight 587 pilots to turn left and climb, following the path taken by the Japan Airlines 747 shortly before. In the following moments, the captain communicated with the departures controller, saying they were at 1,300 feet, and climbing to 5,000 feet. In response, they were told to climb to and maintain 13,000 feet, approximately 4,000 meters. At 09:15:29, the CVR recorded the captain saying, "Clean machine," indicating that the gear, flaps, and slats had been retracted. Around 09:15:35, American Airlines Flight 587 was climbing up to about 1,700 feet in the air. Just a second later, the air traffic controller told the plane to turn left and head straight for a spot called the Wavy Intersection, which is around 30 miles southeast of JFK Airport. This spot acts like a crossroads in the sky where two navigation lines meet. At exactly 09:15:36, the Airbus felt its first encounter with turbulence caused by a Japan Airlines Boeing that had flown by earlier. This was picked up by the flight data recorder, also known as the black box, which recorded unusual movements. The co-pilot had to quickly react by adjusting the yoke and the rudder pedals. The captain remarked, "Little wake turbulence, huh?" which the co-pilot confirmed just a moment later. At this time, the plane was turning towards the intersection and was at an altitude of about 2,300 feet, which is roughly 700 meters above the ground. The plane was also flying at a speed of 250 knots, which was the fastest allowed speed for that type of aircraft when it's below 10,000 feet. At 09:15:51, the Airbus faced its second wake turbulence, unsettling the plane. The first officer reacted with abrupt movements of the yoke and rudder pedals, exerting excessive force on the connection between the rudder and fuselage. This led to the fracture of the right rear main attachment of the vertical stabilizer. The flight data recorder, FDR, revealed that these actions caused significant bending of the vertical stabilizer, reaching up to 12 degrees from its normal position. Consequently, at 09:15:58, the vertical stabilizer completely detached and fell into Jamaica Bay, accompanied by a loud bang captured by the cockpit voice recorder, CVR. At this moment, the plane was flying at around 251 knots. With the vertical stabilizer gone, the Airbus lost control and began spinning. This extreme motion caused both engines to detach due to intense aerodynamic forces. Eyewitnesses reported explosions, likely triggered by ignited fuel during the engine separation. Additionally, airflow passing through the detached engines might have caused a pressure surge, potentially leading to compressor explosions. At 09:16:12, the captain urgently shouted, "Get out of it! Get out of it!" Signaling the dire situation. It's interpreted as a call to escape from the area of danger. 2 seconds later, the recording ceased, marking the tragic end of American Airlines Flight 587. At around 9:16 a.m. on November 12, 2001, tragedy struck as American Airlines Flight 587 crashed into Bell Harbor, igniting a fireball and wreaking havoc. The impact obliterated 4 homes and severely damaged several others, including a gas station and a boat parked in a driveway. The catastrophic event claimed the lives of all 260 people aboard the plane and tragically took the lives of 5 individuals on the ground. In the aftermath, makeshift morgues were set up at Floyd Bennett Field to aid in identifying the victims. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, conducted a thorough investigation and concluded that the primary cause of the crash was excessive rudder pedal inputs made by the pilots to counter turbulence. However, the unique sensitivity of the Airbus A300-600's rudder control system played a significant role, exacerbated by elements of the American Airlines Advanced Aircraft Maneuvering Program, which instructed pilots to use forceful rudder pedal inputs. Following the NTSB's findings, American Airlines revamped its pilot training program to prevent similar incidents in the future. A memorial stands in Rockaway Park, Bell Harbor, serving as a lasting tribute to the victims of the American Airlines Flight 587 disaster. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder of the importance of aviation safety and the continual need for vigilance and improvement in training and technology. The legacy of Flight 587 lives on as a catalyst for change in the airline industry, ensuring that lessons learned from this devastating accident are not forgotten. Now, what steps do you believe can further enhance aviation safety in the face of wake turbulence? Have you ever experienced turbulence while flying? And if so, how did it impact you? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to our channel for more.